You all in my lane, you ain't overlooked, so get out the way. I gave you the book, I gave you the game. The boy gotta cook, the boy got a flame, Serving in the kitchen like you Nino. Plenty bitchin', whipping different flavors like a bistro. Kick it, dip it, flip it, keep it hunting like a C-note. Switch and keep it pimpin' every single place that he go. I got it. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Boy, you know the name, get up out the way. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Stay up out the kitchen if you ain't the one that's whipping, huh? Hey, yo, Lathan, man, cook them boys up something real quick, man.
What's going on, Bistro family, and welcome back to my channel. Now today we got the most amazing bread pudding with homemade caramel sauce. So the first thing we want to do is get our bread cut up. And if you've seen my videos in the past, you know we made some brioche French toast, and I'm just using the rest of that half of that brioche. And then we got some pumpernickel bread here. And we're gonna just add this for the texture of it, because this stuff is really hard and sturdy, and it'll hold up in the custard. Whereas the brioche should hold up a little bit, but you'll kind of see that start to disintegrate, because we are going to leave this overnight inside the custard to just make sure the custard absorb all into this bread. So once you get all that bread cut up, and that was a half a loaf of brioche and 2 small loaves of pumpernickel bread. And you just see I got them all in cubes, all about the same size. But like I said, the brioche is going to kind of disintegrate, but the pumpernickel is going to stay whole, and you'll see that at the end of the cooking process. So the next step we're going to do is work on our custard. So we got 2 large eggs going inside of a bowl, and make sure you use 2 large eggs for this recipe here. All right, so you got 2 large whole eggs going in, and then to those 2 large whole eggs, we're going to add in a half a cup of sugar. Now you can add less or more. I think the half a cup is the perfect ratio, especially when it comes to this custard. But go ahead and get those eggs kind of beaten up just to help yourself alone in a back end. So once you get those eggs beaten up, go ahead and add the half a cup of sugar, and then we're going to go in with a whole cup of heavy whipping cream, and that's heavy whipping cream. And then we're going to follow that by another cup of half and half. Now you could use milk, but I want this thing to be extra decadent, and that's what I use. So then go ahead and start mixing that up. Now, if you watched some of my videos in the past, you know we made some homemade caramel macchiato extract as well as some vanilla extract, and we're going to use those 2 extracts in this here bread pudding. So for the caramel macchiato extract, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of that, and I'll link that video down below if you need help making it. But I made this stuff like a 1.5 years ago, and it's steeped that long, and it's just that incredible. So you want to plan ahead before you make this, especially if you want to use these elements here. And then with the homemade vanilla extract, we're going to use 1 teaspoon of that, and then we're going to take one of the vanilla pods out. And then you remember I put the vanilla pods in that in that vanilla extract. We're going to take one of those vanilla pods out and get all of the seeds out of that vanilla pod, just to give us some of that really rich vanilla pop. So we want to get all that mixed in. Once you get that extract added in, and just mix that up completely until you don't see the extract, but you will see those vanilla beans just floating in there. And like I told you, that's going to make this thing really pop with that vanilla flavor. And by the way, those are Madagascar vanilla beans, so you know that's the real deal right there. So once you get to this point and your custard is all mixed up, we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of raisins. Now this step here is optional, but every bread pudding I always had that raisin element or that dried fruit element, and so that's what I added. I added the raisins, and like I said, you can omit that or keep that, but those raisins will make this bread pudding pop. All right, that sounds like Bill Cosby. All right, but once we get to this step and the custard is already mixed up really good, go ahead and add that to your bread, and you'll see the raisins go on top. And then at this step here, we're going to begin to fold this thing together. And like I said, this is the step where you're going to see your brioche begin to kind of disintegrate. But don't worry, because the pumpernickel is going to hold this shape, and some of the brioche is going to hold this shape as well. But it's all going to just absorb all that custard and make it all really rich and good and decadent. And like I said, I put this in the refrigerator for a day or 12 hours after I did it. Just to let everything set, and then let the bread kind of bloom with that custard. So you got just pop it in the fridge. You got time. All right, so the next day we're finna get ready to bake this thing off, and I'm just checking my springform pans. You always want to check and make sure your springform pans don't leak, because that'll prevent you from making a mistake in the end. And like you seen that, mine's leaked, so I'm going ahead and popping some aluminum foil down, and then we're gonna just wrap them in aluminum foil. That way, if it leaks any, which it is, it's gonna be absorbed in aluminum foil, and it's not gonna make a mess in your oven or get onto your pan and make it smoky. So you just working clean by this point here, just working smarter. So we got our pans wrapped in the aluminum foil. Then we're gonna go ahead and spray it with a little canola spray, just to help the bread pudding release from the springform pan once you get ready and pop it out. And that amount of bread pudding that we just made will fill up 4 of these springform pans. Like, it's the perfect ratio and perfect recipe. So go ahead and fill those things up to the top. And then by the time you get to the last one, you're going to have a little of that custard at the bottom of the pan. So you want to just make sure you go back and put the custard in all the ones that you missed out on. Well, not the ones that you missed out on, but you want to make sure you evenly distribute that custard, just to keep this bread pudding very moist and not dry. So you just want to make sure you just top them all off with the rest of that custard in that bowl. And then at this step here, we want to kind of create a little steam to cook our bread pudding. So I'm going in with some hot water, and that water is at 212 degrees, so it's already boiling. And I went on at the bottom of my pan, and what that's going to do is help my oven. I almost kind of create like a convection oven, because I'm using my top oven for this one, not my bottom convection oven. So this is going to give us that steam, and it's going to keep our bread pudding really nice and moist and cook it evenly. So then we're going on with a half a stick of sweet cream unsalted butter, and then we're going to go in with a half a cup of dark brown sugar. And dark brown sugar is just brown sugar with more molasses added to it. You can use regular brown sugar, but that molasses pop really makes this caramel like really just pop. And this is like a cheap caramel because we're using brown sugar and butter. But once you get that all melted together, go ahead and add in some more of your vanilla, the homemade vanilla. Like I said, I linked that video down below. And then we're going to go on with a 1/4 of a cup of heavy cream at the end, and just to finish this caramel off. And I'm telling you, this is like the best cheap caramel. It's quick and easy. You ain't got to worry about putting white sugar over the stove and letting it turn into crack. Like, you ain't got to do none of that. Just do this step here, and this will be the perfect caramel sauce for you. So once you get that all ready, go ahead and add some Maldon finishing salt to it, and that's that big flaky salt, and that's what's going to make this the salted caramel that we had for the bread pudding. So that's the salted caramel element, that very good crunchy Maldon salt, but it's going to dissolve into this caramel because this caramel is so hot, but it's going to leave that saltiness that this recipe needs to kind of balance that sweetness, but make it extra sweeter. Just adding that salt, and you see how good it look and our consistency of this caramel. And as I said, it's going to thicken up, but it's never going to come to like a complete gel unless you pop it in the fridge. And then to bring it back, all you got to do is pop it over a bowl of warm water. All right, so after 45 minutes at 350 degrees in our oven, and that's 45 minutes at 350 degrees, the bread pudding is ready. Perfect. Look, got a little bounce to it, and the carryover cooking is going to cook it up a little bit more. So as it set, it's going to finish cooking up. You want to let bread pudding cool completely, and then you can pop it in the microwave to reheat it. But when you get done, you want to just let it cool completely, and then we're going to go ahead and pop it out of the springform pan. And I'm just using the offset spatula just to help me get it out. But if you sprayed it really well, it should just pop directly out. And then I'm just going on with the torch just to kind of release that bottom springform pan from the bread pudding, because I'm actually going with the offset spatula and kind of separate the two with the spatula. So I just want to make sure the spatula slide in there pretty easily. And I'm going to pop it on the plate, and there you have it, man. The most amazing bread pudding from the Bistro, man, with that salted caramel sauce. Bread pudding is one of those desserts that's like, it's so southern, but man, it's so delicious. Look at that salted caramel sauce just drizzling all on the side of it. Man, this is what you call dessert. And I bet you everybody's going to love this dessert. It's sweet. It's decadent. It's amazing. It's salty. Man, every element in dessert, you have it in this bread pudding, man. And the consistency is really good. It's very moist. Like, this is amazing bread pudding. I'm telling you, make this recipe. And when you make it, tag me. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And let me know how you like this bread pudding. Like I said, it's amazing. It's decadent. It's awesome. It's moist. It's great bread pudding. Like a great dessert. Look at that. That cascade of that salted caramel sauce. I'm telling you, man, you want to make this recipe. And then that homemade extracts just take it to the next level. And that's what separates plain desserts or ordinary desserts and make them fantastic, man. Then we're going on with a dollop of that Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream. But yeah, there you have it, man. The most amazing bread pudding from the Bistro. Like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Help me grow this channel. If you like this channel, share this channel. And I want to thank you all for tuning in every week for these videos every Thursday. Thank you, man. But yeah, there you have it, man. The most amazing bread pudding from the Bistro. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out.